Hey guys, this is Kia. I am the owner of Quiche Cups and Things. Thank you guys for taking a moment out and watching my first tutorial on my YouTube channel. Today we'll be making dominoes with the domino mold box. I'm here. I already have my supplies. I have my resin. It's aqua still. I got it from Amazon. Everything that you see will be listed to my Amazon, so you'll be able to find everything a little bit faster. As you can see, I have my cups inside of a warm bath. I only put my resin in the cups and warm it up so that I don't end up flash curing. If I heat up the hardener with the resin, it can flash cure. This I learned from one of my TikTok friends, Lena. Thank you so much, sweetie. This is such a great hack. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so now I'm just gonna finish mixing. It takes about exactly 3 minutes. It really doesn't matter which size with this resin so far. It has worked. Just mix it a little bit. There's no bubbles. It's already clear. Make sure you don't see any little strings, little lines in your resin. Once you don't see anything else in there, it's clear and it's ready to add your pigment or your glitter. So I'm just mixing it just a little bit more just to make sure, because nobody wants sticky resin and nobody wants their items not to cure after all of this work. Okay, so another thing is to don't be like me, guys. Please use a measuring cup or whatever cup you use for your resin. Make sure that it is a larger size than what you need. As y'all see, I had to use 2 cups just for my dominoes. I'm using I think it's only 100 milliliters each, and you need at least like I say 225 to fill up this domino mold set. So I ran out of my large cup, so I had to use 2. Make sure you're using enough glitter. You can always tell by you can take the stick that you're using, and if you can see through it easily, then that means you need to add some more glitter. This is just so that all your glitter doesn't fall directly to the bottom of the mold and leaves a clear backing. If that's not what you want, just add a little bit more glitter and you'll be okay. Alright, so now I'm getting ready to fill up my molds. I had a couple questions about how I clean up my dominoes once they're done, and my real trick is to try my best to make sure I fill my molds as clean as possible. Because this is only one color, you can fill it all the way up until a small dome develops. You'll see like it almost like a little rounded back. So that means you added just enough. Try not to overfill them so that they don't run into each other, which actually happens for me. And just, I think it's like maybe 2 or 3 of them together. But other than that, the neater you pour your resin, the less work you have to do when it's time to unmold them. So with this, because there's one color, no decals, I fill it up. Like, you're going to see me take time. I mean, you can't see me on camera, but I'm bending over. I'm looking to see if they're the same height, if it's domed in the back, so it comes out smooth. But that's pretty much the trick to that. When you do unmold your dominoes and it does need to be cleaned up, some maybe sticking together, you can use an X-Acto knife to clean up your edges, or you can use a sanding block. You can wet sand it, or you can use like a 100 grit sanding block just to clean up your edges, and maybe use UV resin. If you have a lot of air bubbles on the back of your dominoes, use UV resin to dome the back if it's not domed, and there you have a finished product, nice, clean, and smooth. Alright, so I finished the dominoes. Now I'm getting ready to fill up the mold for the domino box. I have to do the same thing because I do not have bigger cups, so I have to mix again. The warm bath have literally saved me so much time and just a huge headache from air bubbles, because we know how bad the air bubbles can get with the dominoes. So here I am mixing again, mix, and I'm going to add about the same amount of glitter for my molds. So for the box, the key is to make sure you do not overfill the flaps where they attach to each other, little grooves where you can slide the lid into the box. Make sure not to overfill these molds, because if you do, they will not slide in together and you would have wasted a lot of resin and a lot of your time, and you'll have to do the box over again. So let's try our best to not overfill it. Another issue that I had as well, you'll see in the second part, is that my table was not level, but it didn't really give me too many issues. I still was able to put my box together, and that you will see in part 2. Also, the cleaning of the dominoes and the unmolding is also in part 2. If you guys have any questions, please leave it below. Like I told you guys before, this is my first video. I'm really new to this, so you know, help us out. Ask me some questions so that I can answer them for next time. Our next video we'll probably do a double layer. We will probably do a solid color with a decal. That'll be our next video. Or if you guys have more questions and you want me to get more into depth about how to clean the dominoes or the measuring. Oh, quick tip for the measuring: if you have a new mold and you've never used it before and you want to know how much resin you can use, you can either fill your mold up with water, or you can fill your mold up with rice and then pour it back into a measuring cup so you can know how much resin you'll need for this project. So here I am just filling it in. I'm making sure I don't overfill it. Wherever I need my resin to spread, I'm going to use my little popsicle stick to spread it over and make sure that the resin covers all the corners and that I have enough resin. And always try to make enough resin, because especially if you're using pigments or glitter, you want to make sure you use the exact amount of glitter and exact amount of drops of pigment if you have to go in and make another batch because you didn't make enough the first time. So you have to be really, really careful with that, because if not, it will be off and it will not be the same and it will be noticeable. So here I am just pushing it to the edges, not overfilling it, because the resin will level itself out. So you just want to make sure you just give it a little push, make sure everything is filled, every crack, every crevice, every corner. And that is pretty much it for our first video. I also use 91% rubbing alcohol to spray to pop all of my remaining bubbles. I do not use a heating gun because I was told it messes up your mold. So stay part for part 2.